Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Going to be giving you my predictions for our game against Burnley at Old Trafford. So score prediction, I'm going to go with 3-1 to Manchester United. And the goal scorers, for us, I'm going to go with Mason Greenwood. I think he'll score 2. And the third goal, I'm going to go with Edison Cavani. And Burnley's goal, I'm going to go with Chris Wood. I've already given you my starting 11 prediction for this game. Now, Burnley beat us at Old Trafford last season 2-0. That was their first win at Old Trafford in 58 years. We did beat them at Turf Moor earlier on this season 1-0. It was a goal from Paul Pogba. And we beat them at Turf Moor last season 2-0. I'm expecting Manchester United to win this game because Burnley are a poor outfit. They're sitting like 16th in the Premier League. Their current manager is Sean Dyche. He's been a long-serving manager for Burnley. You know, he's been Burnley manager almost 10 years. Before he was at Burnley, he was at Watford. Burnley have got some good players, like I mentioned on the preview. Obviously, Chris Wood, he's one of their key players. I think he'll be in contention to play tomorrow. Ashley Barnes, he's also a very good player. He's actually been out with injury. Jay Rodriguez, he's also good for Burnley. Vidra, he's good. Ben Mee's good. Cork's good. Westwood is good. Tarkowski, I rate him a lot for Burnley. Long's good, but Long's out with injury. Brady's out with injury. Nick Pope, who's one of their goalkeepers, he's out with injury. There's a good chance he's going to miss the game tomorrow. Burnley brought a few players in last year. They brought Anthony Mancini in. They brought that Dale Stevens in. Brought Will Norris in and brought Josh Brownhill in. Burnley lost their last league game against Newcastle 2-1. We're coming into this game on the back of a 2-0 win against Granada in the Europa League quarter-final second leg. It was 4-0 on aggregate because we beat Granada in the first leg 2-0. And it was a pretty good performance by Manchester United. We are now into the Europa League semi-finals. That's 5 semi-finals under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And we do play Roma in the semi-finals, which will be a tough game. Solskjaer spoke out about Man United facing Roma in the semi-finals. He did say that Edin Dzeko will pose the biggest threat when we play Roma. And Mkhitaryan and Chris Smalling will be reuniting with Man United. But there again, I think Smalling is out with injury. Solskjaer said we are aiming to finish the season with a trophy, because that would make it a great season. Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Manchester United manager. You know, we haven't won a trophy since 2017 and we know that's nowhere near good enough to our standards. The Europa League's our only chance of any silverware this season, but even if we fail to win the Europa League, we know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's not going to be sacked. That's already been made clear. So I kind of sure Ollie will be here in the summer transfer window and he'll be Man United manager next season. But I've already said he does deserve at least another season because he has made progress in certain aspects. We won our last league game against Tottenham. We beat them 3-1. It was a good second half performance by Man United. I said reflecting on that win against Tottenham, that secures us a second place finish more or less. Obviously, in this game against Burnley, Solskjaer's going to make some changes from the 2-0 win against Granada recently. Obviously, Luke Shaw's now back. Luke Shaw didn't play against Granada recently because he was suspended. Harry Maguire's back. He didn't play against Granada because he was suspended. And McTominay's back. He was suspended for the game against Granada. In Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference building up to this game against Burnley, he spoke about Eric Bailly. He hopes Eric Bailly will be able to feature against Burnley. Solskjaer has said that Man United are in contract talks with Bailly and Solskjaer feels relaxed over his future. Bailly has been out with COVID. Earlier on this season, it said that contract talks were on hold for Eric Bailly because Eric Bailly said he wants assurances over his playing time. And earlier on this season, Bailly apologised to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and his Man United teammates for his disrespectful behaviour because he said that Bailly was furious with Solskjaer because he felt disrespected and not wanted by him at the club. And Bailly also came out and said he believes we're only offering him a new contract to simply increase his asking price. Bailly's got like 14 months left on his current contract. We got Bailly in 2016 from Villarreal. We got him for £30 million. He's a good centre-half, Bailly. My only element of concern about him is injury prone, so in that aspect he is a liability. Marcus Rashford, do you think he'll be involved in this game? He didn't play against Granada recently. He has actually been out with a foot injury. Anthony Martial, he's out. It's very, very likely he's going to be out for the rest of the season. Solskjaer confirmed that not so long ago. Phil Jones, he's obviously still out with injury. After Burnley, we do play Leeds United, and that is going to be a massive game. Now, Paul Pogba, don't forget, he recently gave an exclusive interview to Sky, and he criticised Jose Mourinho. He said Jose Mourinho went against the players and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is different. So reflecting on that, Paul Pogba is 100% Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. Now, like I updated you on my previous video, Jose Mourinho has hit back at Paul Pogba's comments. He said he doesn't care less what he had to say about his reign as Manchester United manager. Yeah, we did have Mourinho for 2.5 years. He won 3 trophies at Manchester United, and I think in his first season he got a second place. So you can say Mourinho endured one good season at the club. Mourinho's obviously now Tottenham manager. I'm expecting him to get sacked by Tottenham at some point. If Tottenham decided to sack him, it would definitely be the right decision because Mourinho has now passed his sell-by date. Don't get me wrong, he's got a good pedigree behind him. He's won around 25 major honours in his managerial career. But Paul Pogba, I'd love Manchester United to keep him, potentially past the summer, because we've been getting the best out of him in recent months, and plus he brings creativity to the team. Disregarding Pogba, we lack creativity and we are far too defensive. I think we need to keep Paul Pogba in more of an advanced role because that's where he's more effective. I'm not too keen on Pogba in a deeper role, and we've played him in a deeper role a few times. Don't forget earlier on this season he had a thigh injury. He was out for a while. First part of this season he had an ankle injury and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. So he's sustained a few injuries now at Manchester United. Paul Pogba has had a long running transfer saga though. He's been relentlessly linked to a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him. And his former club Juventus have been in for him. And I did mention there's a very, very good chance that Paul Pogba will go back to Juventus if he leaves Man United, because he enjoyed 4 good years with them before he rejoined us. Swap deals have been high on the agenda now. Reports from Italy recently said that there could be a swap deal involving Paul Pogba and Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you think that would be a good swap deal? Said a few weeks ago that Juventus were willing to offer us Paulo Dybala in exchange for Pogba. Earlier on this season, Juventus actually told his agent Mino Raiola they could not afford Pogba, so reflecting on that, it said he will not make a return to Juventus. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said earlier on this season that Paul Pogba's future lies at Man United, and he hopes Paul Pogba will stay at Man United and sign a new contract. Our players would actually be devastated if the club decided to sell him. Paul Pogba's current contract expires next year. Because earlier on this season we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Mino Raiola has obviously been desperate to get his client out of the football club. He did say earlier on this season though that he's got no intentions of destabilising his client's season, and he made an admission saying that he's working quietly on Paul Pogba's transfer to avoid offence. He made an announcement back in December regarding Paul Pogba, and Solskjaer was furious with Mino Raiola's announcement. He was doing a lot of talking earlier on this season, saying that he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy. And he criticised Sir Alex Ferguson for forcing Pogba out of the club when he was younger. And I presume all Man United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson. But yeah, we paid 89 million for Pogba, most expensive sign at the moment. This is his 5th season at the football club since he rejoined. So far, Pogba's won 3 trophies at Man United. That's the FA Cup, the Europa League, and the League Cup. We did have him when he was a lot younger under Ferguson, but we had to let him go due to limited appearances. Now, the summer transfer window is massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I hope that Solskjaer gets the players he wants to recommend in the summer transfer window. In the summer transfer window, I'm expecting us to make around 3 or 4 signings. And I've already identified the areas in the squad where we need to strengthen up. Now, it said earlier on this season that we will spend big in the summer transfer window, but Solskjaer did mention that he wants to keep transfer dealings quiet. He said earlier on this season that we may not do business as usual in the summer transfer window due to the pandemic, but he said he's interested in bringing in players that will be a perfect fit for the club. The summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. But yeah, there's a lot of players we're looking at, like I've already mentioned. I've been talking with you a lot about Raphael Varane, haven't I? Because there's been a lot of narratives coming out regarding Raphael Varane. Now, we do face competition for Raphael Varane from Chelsea, because Christian Farks come out from Bild and said that Chelsea have now entered the race for him. Reports from Spain said the other day that Man United are in advanced talks with Raphael Varane. Raphael Varane is ready to leave Real Madrid, and we are preparing a transfer bid. Now, Real Madrid are demanding 60 million for Raphael Varane, but we're hoping to lower Real Madrid's 60 million asking price. Raphael Varane's contract talks with Real Madrid have stalled. He's got just over a year left on his current contract. The Spanish transfer expert Eduardo Inda said earlier on this season that Raphael Varane could be on his way to Man United in the summer. Narratives came out earlier on this season saying that Real Madrid are prepared to sell Raphael Varane on one condition: he must inform Real Madrid on his decision to leave. Being a long servant at Real Madrid, he's been there like 10 years now. He's won 18 major honours and he's made over 300 appearances. Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011, and Varane would complement Harry Maguire in our back line. But he said the other week that Solskjaer had drawn up a 6-man centre-back shortlist. Now, Wesley Fofana from Leicester is on our agenda, because reports in France have said that Man United have made contact with Leicester over the possible move for Wesley Fofana. Leicester are demanding £80 million, so we'll have to pay the exact same fee as what we paid for Harry Maguire in the summer of 2019. Fofana has got a contract with Leicester until 2025. Leicester paid £36.5 million for him from Saint Etienne. He is only the age of 20, so do you think he'd go very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line? You already know the news on Declan Rice. There's been narratives coming out recently saying that Declan Rice is interested in joining Manchester United, and it said that he's asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. West Ham are demanding over £100 million. Declan Rice is a very good player, but he's not worth 100 million, or he's not worth over 100 million. I reckon he's worth from between 50 to 60 million, maybe 70 million at a push. He said earlier on this season that Solskjaer agreed with our recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. The main explanations I'd take him at Manchester United is because he's well proven in the Premier League. He's predominantly a holding midfielder, and we need a holding midfielder, but he can be deployed as a centre-half. And he's still young and he's got a lot of development in him. Declan Rice has been at West Ham around 7 years now. He's got a contract with them till 2024. Before he was at West Ham, he was at Chelsea. He was in their youth setup for several years, but he never got in Chelsea's first team, did he? Chelsea were relentlessly linked with him last year. You already know the news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. He said not so long ago that we've been given a new Jadon Sancho transfer price. It's £86 million. So Dortmund have lowered their asking price, because initially they was demanding £108 million. Still a lot of rumours going on regarding Erling Haaland. Apparently Man United are relying on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's close bond with Haaland to try and sign the player. But apparently Erling Haaland wants to make a move to Real Madrid. Haaland leaving Borussia Dortmund is now very likely, following Dortmund's Champions League exit to Manchester City. But in the summer transfer window, we're going to focus on the incomings and the outgoings, aren't we? Solskjaer should get the backing he deserves in the summer transfer window, because obviously Woodward is standing by him, and Woodward believes he's the right man to lead the club forward. And obviously we've got John Murtough, he's our director of football, and it was the right decision by the club getting a director of football in, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed. And we've got Darren Fletcher, who's our technical director, and he knows the club through thick and thin, because he endured 2 decades as a player for Man United, didn't he? And Solskjaer's already had the transfer summit with them. You know, he discussed our transfer plans for the summer. The players that could leave Man United in the summer transfer window is Cavani, Juan Mata, Matic, Martial. He's another one, because a lot of United fans are saying that we need to offload Martial. Van der Beek could, because he's not getting enough opportunities. Pogba could still leave. Phil Jones could be leaving. Romero could be leaving. David De Gea could be leaving. I think we'll be looking to get rid of Diego Dalot permanently as well. Jesse Lingard, will Man United get rid of him permanently? West Ham have already said they'll do whatever it takes to get Lingard permanently. It said a few weeks ago we set our asking price for Lingard, it's £30 million. And there's actually been talks of a swap deal involving Declan Rice and Jesse Lingard. Solskjaer did say recently that, you know, Lingard's got a future at Man United, and he's confirmed that Man United want Jesse Lingard back. Earlier on this season, it says that we was open to a sensational return for Lingard, and we could give him a new 3-year contract. But since he's gone out on loan to West Ham, he has made a fantastic impact. He really has. It's his 5th loan spell now. The reason we loaned him out is because he got frozen out of our squad. There's a lot of players that we'll keep in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at Manchester United, you know. So I think, you know, we'll keep Dean Henderson. I think Dean Henderson's got a long-term future at Man United. You know, in the games he's been involved in this season, Henderson, he's made good saves. His distribution's been good. He's made good aerial claims. I reckon he's our number 1 now. And I said he's reliable enough to be our number 1 because he has got that experience behind him. You know, don't forget he did endure 2 successful loans with Sheffield, and he's had other loan spells before. We'll definitely keep Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw's been our best player this season by far. You know, Luke Shaw showed very good attacking intent. He's got into very good positions. He's put good crosses into the box. He's provided width, and defensively, he's been superb. Luke Shaw's had a good career at Man United apart from his injuries. You know, he's been at the club over 6 years, and he still remains our first choice left back despite the arrival of Alex Telles. Harry Maguire, I think we'll keep him. Obviously, I'm not sure about long term. Harry Maguire's had some good games at Man United, but he's also enjoyed some poor games. But either way, we overpaid for him. We got him in a deal worth £80 million. Victor Lindelof, I think we'll keep him potentially past the summer, but I don't think he's a long-term player for Man United. As you all know, I've got my strong reservations about Victor Lindelof. I really, really have. You know, Lindelof's been at the club a few years now. We got him in a deal worth £31 million from Benfica back in 2017. And Wan-Bissaka, I think we'll keep him. I think he's got a long-term future at Man United. You know, defensively, and Wan-Bissaka's superb. He just needs to show more attacking intent, because that's what he's lacking at the moment, is that attacking intent. There's been some games where he showed good attacking intent, but he's got to do it persistently. We got Wan-Bissaka in a deal worth 50 million from Palace in the summer of 2019. Scott McTominay, I think we'll keep him. You know, he's a decent player, McTominay. Still young, got a lot of development in him. But McTominay's not at that level yet where I want him to be at. The question is, can he emulate to that level, Scott McTominay? You know, just after the first lockdown last year, he signed a 5-year contract with Man United, did Scott McTominay. Fred, I think we'll keep him potentially past the summer, but I'm very sceptical he'll be here long term. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. He's had some good games at Man United, but he's also had abysmal games. Obviously, we'll keep Bruno Fernandes. You know, Bruno Fernandes has made a difference in the team, hasn't he, completely? You know, I think he's our best player, and he's certainly the best signing we have made since the Ferguson era. We've overplayed Fernandes. In a lot of games at Man United, he's been very consistent, but there's also been a few games where he has looked off the pace. But earlier on this season, Fernandes denied that he needed a rest because he wants to help the club win trophies. He said he came to Manchester to win trophies. He's won Player of the Month quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. He's been here over the year, and don't forget he did say on his 12-month anniversary that he's planning on spending many years at Man United. We'll definitely keep Greenwood. I think he's got a long-term future at the club. Greenwood's been absolutely superb since he broke into our first team squad. You know, Greenwood made his senior debut in 2019. You know, he's been a United player since the age of 7. He's been with us a while now. And earlier on this season, he signed a new 4-year contract. Sometimes we play Greenwood on the right. Sometimes we play him centrally. Either position, we get the best out of him. It's as simple as that. Marcus Rashford will also keep him as well. He's become injury prone at Man United because he has sustained quite a few injuries now. Amad Diallo Traore, I reckon, will also keep him. And I said, you know, he looks a very good asset for the first team squad. You know, Cavani, you know, he could stay for next season. I hope he does. And Pogba, I hope he stays potentially past the summer, like I've already mentioned. But in regards to Solskjaer, I think he is our best manager since Ferguson, like I've said so many times. Progress has been made in certain aspects, but I'll stick to what I said on my recent videos. He's not the long-term manager for Man United, but I hope I'm proven wrong. Woodward and that must believe he's long-term, because Solskjaer has agreed a new 3-year contract worth 30 million. Solskjaer still has 1 year left on his current 3-year contract. Solskjaer has been Manchester United manager over 2 years now. We appointed him in December 2018, and he's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. You know, the reason the club gave him the job permanently 2 years ago, because he did very, very well as the interim manager. I think Solskjaer's handled things really, really well, because, you know, he's been under pressure a lot as Man United manager, and maybe some managers in that particular situation would have probably resigned if they knew they had a very good chance of getting sacked. Yeah, like I said before, the main explanation he's still Man United manager is because he is a club legend, and that's what's basically saved Ollie at Man United, let's be honest. But there has been a lot of Man United fans demanding him out. They've obviously got main explanations why they want him out, but I do presume that there's a lot of Man United fans that are Ollie in and believes that he needs more time. You know. So anyway guys, that's everything to update with today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.